Were you there? Did you visit?
Thank you. It is Hafner Vineyard. Yes.
Really?
It's a no relation, unfortunately, but
Oh, I
Oh,
was just,
hopefully you can hear me okay. Maura, are you able to hear me now? Maura, maybe not. Oh no. um, well, welcome to Cash In on Camera Live, our free Wednesday training. We've been doing this since what, June now, and it's been just so awesome to have you all coming back, week after week and sharing in these different tactics and different strategies that I'm sharing. I would actually ask you if you can mute yourselves while I do the training portion of today's training, which is leveraging Facebook to grow your audience. Now, listen, I will preface by saying we couldn't possibly touch on everything there is to know about Facebook in the course of this 30-minute or so call. But what I'm hoping to do today is to paint a picture of some of the features that you may want to be taking a look at, maybe already are taking a look at, a few of the interesting developments and features that Facebook is doing right now. And there's so much more to learn. I don't by any means pretend to know everything there is to know about Facebook, but I've been on the platform for many, many years and have grown an audience. It's a pretty sizable audience of probably over, I think at this point, probably safe to say 6,000 to 7,000 people, I think, on Facebook. So that's pretty good. And I've learned a few things along the way. And I'm also noticing that Facebook's doing some interesting things, this year. So I'm going to share with you some of those. One thing I do want to point out is that we're multi-streaming today using restream.io. And so if you're watching on YouTube, then welcome. If you're watching on LinkedIn Live, then welcome to the LinkedIn audience. You may be watching on Periscope. Big welcome to you. Or of course on Facebook, to the Cash In on Camera Facebook group. Welcome to the 665 plus members who are in that group, as well as on the Facebook page. So really happy to have you here. So we're going to get started. Maura, are you able to hear me?
And so if you're watching on YouTube, then
Are you able to mute, Maura? Because I'm hearing the feedback from the computer, if you're able to. I wonder if somebody could put in the chat and ask Maura if she could mute. Maybe she's not hearing me. Deb, would you mind doing that? So what we're going to do today is talk about Facebook. And when it comes to Facebook, there are so many different features and so many different things that we can do with Facebook. Also want to mention before I get into the crux of this right now, that in the chat, if you're watching on Zoom, I have put the link to the next workshop. I'm doing another workshop on November the 5th at 11 a.m. And if you'd like to be part of that, the link is there, and also put this in the chat or in the comments after the broadcast today as well. So just so you know, the workshop next one is November the 5th. And we'd love to have you there for a full day. So leveraging Facebook to grow your audience. When I thought, I want to look up how many people are actively using Facebook on a monthly basis right now. Who wants to guess? Who wants to guess how many people, it's a big number, are using Facebook on a monthly basis? Type it in the chat.
Millions. Billions.
Okay, Maura's saying billions. Yes, it does start with a B. So 2.7 billion people are using Facebook as monthly active users. Now, when we think about that, it's not even like it's such a huge number. You can't even wrap your head around it. So sometimes I talk to people and they go, I'm not sure if I should be on Facebook. And I go, chances are your audience is on Facebook to some degree. Chances are pretty high because we're talking about 2.7 billion people on it on a monthly basis. So Facebook, I would dare say, is a place where your people are probably there. Okay, so reason one to use Facebook. The second thing about Facebook that I find interesting is just the level of, it's the largest social network in the world. The level of development that happens on Facebook is pretty astonishing in terms of the features and different things. It's not just your Facebook profile anymore, right? There's so much that you can do with it. And that's what I hope to paint a picture of for you today. Hi, Howard, and hi, Daniela. I'm seeing you there as well. Just wanted to welcome you in live on the Zoom. So when we think about, and if you can mute yourselves, that would be great. Thank you, Howard. Thank you, Daniela. Awesome. Thank you so much. So Facebook, when you first signed up for Facebook, you sign up and you have an account and all of that, and you have what's called a Facebook profile. The Facebook profile is like the personal representation of you on Facebook. It's where you have friends, you have a limit, you can have 5,000 friends on Facebook. And then beyond that, Facebook says, hey, you can possibly have more than 5,000 really good friends. So we're going to push you now to create a page. And the page is where they want, and when they develop pages, the idea was, this is where we want you to do business. We want you to separate personal from business. And sometimes people call the page a business page, a fan page. And so the page is different. The page is what I really consider to be your brand building, business building property on Facebook. Now, when it comes to leveraging Facebook to grow your audience, and we're just going to start talking about profile versus page to begin with. And I did do a whole video on this on my YouTube channel, by the way, too, with the difference of them. But I want you to be thinking of the profile, the place where you have friends, typically the personal connections that you've made over time, depending on how long you've been on Facebook. Think of that as a place where you could go in and ask your friends and family for referrals of people within their own networks that might be interested in what it is that you do, or might be interested in the content that you're creating. And you might be able to leverage the people within your profile who are connected to you as friends. And I'm not saying you should do this every day. I would not be posting on my Facebook profile every single day, hey, I need referrals. Hey, send me more people. But occasionally it could be a strategy to make a post on your Facebook profile and just put it out there and say, hey, listen, I'm publishing these videos every week on my YouTube channel. And do you know anybody in your circles who should be subscribed to it? That is a way that you could leverage your Facebook profile to help you to build your audience. Because the people who are associated with your profile are going to be likely personal connections. They're friends, they're family, acquaintances, and people who know you on a more personal level. With regard to the page itself, when you have a Facebook page, again, that's kind of your more business center would be a way of looking at it. That is a place, of course, you want to be posting content there. And that content can include video. I think it should, but it can also include other posts that you make on your page. It could be a poll. It could be any form of content. It could be an image post. It could be a poll. You could just simply ask a question. You could put a quote. You could do a video. That would be my number one ideal thing to do. But your page is a place that's the business side of you. Now, you can, and I do this, I will post on my page predominantly. I rarely post on my profile. And that's contradictory to what some people might think, because they go, oh, but why would I do that when I get way more engagement on my profile? But if you want to grow your page, then you have to train people to know that that's where you post your content. If you just keep posting on your profile and you don't really post on your page, then why would anybody ever go to it? So you have to think about your page as being a place that you keep it fresh, keep putting some content in there, including videos on your page, making posts regularly. You can there's a new feature in Canva that I'm excited about. I have the pro version, so I don't know if this is on the free one, but nonetheless, it's called Content Planner. And Content Planner allows you to schedule posts that you've created, images, whatever you've created in Canva, and schedule them on a calendar to your Facebook page. I think also groups, I think it works as well. And you can have it schedule out artwork you've created in Canva, and schedule it out to your Facebook page in the Content Planner in Canva. So that's pretty cool. So thinking about your page from that perspective, I think that on the page, you also want to utilize that and leverage it for live streaming. doing lives is a great rate. And we're going to talk a little bit more about live in a moment, but live stream broadcasts on your Facebook page is an awesome way to leverage it and grow your audience. And especially if you decide, because the beautiful thing about live stream is that there's no editing. So it does stand to reason that you could do more. You could have more output doing live streams on your page than you could with recorded or edited video, because there is a little bit of the editing takes time. It isn't something that just, you have to get good at it, and you have to be proficient at being able to edit videos, and you can do it, but it is a skill set. So Facebook profile, we talked about that. Facebook page, way to leverage that. Facebook group. Facebook groups are interesting. I feel like, and I have 3 groups right now. I have Cheryl Plouffe's Inner Circle. I have a 7-day video challenge group, and I have the Cash In on Camera group. And so I will be the first to admit that I need to move toward a place where I have one group. I have too many groups right now. This is something I know about. I know this to be true. And, listen, I'm not perfect by any means, but I kind of made a little bit of I think I just overshot that. And I was like, oh, I'll create a group for this and a group for that and a group for that. And I see other people doing the same thing. And I recognize that even in my own self. The Cash In on Camera Facebook group now with 665 people, that is my main group now. And that's what I'm concentrating on. And that's where I am posting content. This live stream is going out, multi-streaming out to the Facebook group. What I recommend from a group perspective is that you have, if you can keep it to one group, one main group. Having a Facebook group is in and of itself work. So really think hard about how thinly you want to spread yourself. A group can be really powerful because it's a community. A group is a community of people. One of the most exciting features in the Facebook groups that you can leverage to grow your audience and to build more engagement and community with them is that in the settings, you can choose to set it up as social learning. There are social learning units. So you can choose now to set your group up with social learning tabs. So what that really means is that you can, if you wanted to, leverage your group to be a place to teach. And that could be a way, depending on your industry, depending on your niche, depending on how you want to do that, it could be an interesting place for you to build community and to be able to teach people if you set it up that way. You don't have to, but it's an option. And I think that's an interesting and exciting way to leverage Facebook groups. Profile, page, group. What I like to do is I like to, for lack of a better term, cross-pollinate. If I'm going to put time and effort into my video every week, I will post it. Like I will share that content out and put it on all the, it's like, it starts on the page. I'm going to put it to the group. I'm going to share it to my profile. I'm going to want to move it around and help that content get more views and be exposed to more people by virtue of sharing it around in those different platforms or within those different levels of Facebook platform. Facebook Messenger. Okay. Facebook Messenger, it's interesting. I get more engagement on Facebook Messenger than any other. And I think it's mostly mostly because of the sheer number of people who use Facebook on a daily basis. And we started talking about the 2.7 billion monthly active users. Whenever I have had to contact somebody, let's say I needed to contact you real quick. Let's just say it was just like, oh, I gotta, chances are pretty high I'm going to get a response from you on Facebook Messenger sooner than I would by email, sooner than I would by an SMS text or something like that, because this has been my experience. So all that to say that from an audience building perspective, in terms of leverage, can you or should you be leveraging Facebook Messenger more? Should you be leveraging it more?
Cheryl,
Yes, go ahead.
one tidbit on that too. One of the reasons why I like it better is because I can see immediately if someone has opened and read my message or not. Whereas with an SMS, a text message, you can't tell how it landed. This way I know.
Ah, good point. It's the little blue check, right?
Yeah, a little check mark, and then you can see their face, their profile pic pops up too once they've really opened it.
That's right. Yeah, that's a good point. So it's an interesting platform. You know, if you could also we could, and listen, I'm probably not the best person to really share this with you, but you can also there are automated bots and other services that you can sign up for through Facebook Messenger. For a brief while, I don't know, maybe back a year and a half or so ago, I was working with a friend of mine who is an expert in this area, and he and I started an account on ManyChat. And ManyChat, you can link up to your Facebook Messenger, and that you create a bot, and that is an automated series of text messages that go out to people, and you can set it up. It's a whole field of study, and I'm not an expert at it at all, but suffice to say that Facebook Messenger can be leveraged in a very powerful way to connect with your audience on a more personal level, right? And that could just be individually. It's like, I'm going to send Maura a message right now. One of the things, for those of you who've been through my mind mapping process, when I do the mind map, which is a visual representation of your strategy through the lens of video, often on the left-hand side, I will say, you should use Facebook Messenger or text messaging or private messaging or direct messaging to have daily engagement with people in your audience. And that's really where Facebook Messenger comes into play. You could use that platform to do that. And that might mean something as simple as every day sending a message to 3 or 5 people in your audience and just check in on them. Hey, how's it going today? What you working on? Is there anything I can help you with? What are some things that you need help with? Maybe I can send you, in the right direction. Often you hear about these types of strategies in network marketing, because network marketing and people who are in relationship marketing are really, really good at this. They're really good at understanding the value of personal connection and messaging and reaching out and follow up. And so the Facebook Messenger, since we're talking specifically about Facebook today, can be a powerful way to do that and to re-engage, to follow up, and to just, hey, I'm over here. I can help you. Is there anything that you need help with? So Messenger is an amazing thing for personal connection. In my own personal experience, it's been a great place to reconnect with people and to get quick responses. One thing that I would point out is that on Facebook Messenger, I'm just opening up the app on my phone, that there is a video option. And most people don't use it that way. They'll use the, they'll message. So Maura and you and I were messaging, but like, I can text you. But I could also send you a video text. I could send you a video message. I would like to challenge you to use that at some point, because it's a powerful way to stand out, and not many of your competitors or people in your space are probably using it that way. You click on the little camera icon, it brings up the video format, and you could send a video message and send that instead of text. That might be worth more exploration at some point in a future training to kind of really dial into the power of that. Just wanted to quickly mention too, welcome to, if you're watching on LinkedIn Live, which I've now been granted. Thank you, LinkedIn, after 4 attempts to apply for that. So if you're watching on LinkedIn Live, welcome. Periscope, Facebook page, Facebook group, and YouTube. Happy to have you here as well. If you're watching, I'm multi-streaming today with Restream.io. I'll put the link in the chat for those of you who are interested to know more about that. And also, I have my next workshop coming up on November the 5th. If you're interested to spend a whole day with me, then you'll want to register for that at cashinoncamera.com. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th thing that I wanted to bring up today in terms of leveraging Facebook to grow your audience is live streaming. Live streaming is so powerful. It really is, because this is an example of it right here. I'm doing this training today, but I'm multi-streaming this out to a multitude of different places, live, in the moment, and I don't have to edit this video after it's done. This is saving me a ton of time and energy and effort by simply choosing to do it in real time rather than doing it pre-recorded. I want to challenge you to be thinking of using live streams on Facebook in particular, right? And you don't have, you could do it the way I'm doing, which is multi-streaming it all at the same time, but you could do it individually. You could do, I'm going to do a live stream, one live stream to my Facebook page. I'm going to do a live stream to my Facebook group, you know, and how you treat that live stream will be different, likely, to a page than to a group. If your group is a curated community of people who, I don't know, maybe have purchased something from you, then clearly you can have a different type of conversation with your group than you could with your page. So live streaming is a really powerful way. And I think that as it pertains to live streaming overall, if we look at it from a hierarchical point of view, you know, where most people, when they think of live streaming, they think of Facebook Live. They think of Facebook Live, Instagram, then you kind of get into your, you know, your YouTube and LinkedIn and Periscope. So Facebook is the granddaddy, I would say, likely of live streaming for most people. And the great thing is you can do it from your desktop or you can do it from your phone. So you can do it from mobile, you can do it from your computer. And to take your Facebook Lives to the next level on your computer, there are also third-party apps and programs that you can use that would add graphics and different things on top of that. That's probably a little more advanced for a different conversation, but nonetheless, it can be as simple as using my next point, which is Creator Studio. So what Facebook has done is they've taken everything under one umbrella and it's called Creator Studio. You may have seen some changes as you have logged into your Facebook account and you're like, what is this thing? It's Facebook's attempt to take everything publishing related and bring it all under one umbrella. And so you might see reference to Creator Studio. It's a good thing, in my opinion. It's a great thing to be able to bring everything under one umbrella, and that can be a centralized location from which you, as the creator, the Facebook creator in this case, can use that studio environment to be able to create your content for the platform. And it's linked up with all of these different layers and different features that are on Facebook that I've mentioned today. So I'll open it up to questions. Let's talk about Facebook. What questions do you have? Burning questions, short questions, long questions? Brett, go
I
ahead.
have a question.
So when you,
Sorry. Can I go to Brett first and I'll come back to you, Maura?
Absolutely.
Okay, go ahead.
when you post your video on Facebook that you said, I know you do it natively, do you edit out you talk about subscribing to your channel, or is that just all part of it?
So when you're talking about in reference to my YouTube video that I then publish natively on Facebook,
Yes.
I don't edit it. I leave it in.
Okay.
Yeah. Could you edit it? Yes, you could. But I don't feel like it's worth the time and effort it would take to do that for the benefit it would be. Do you know what I mean? Maura, what was your question?
You were saying about how when you're posting live and streaming it to the different platforms, that then you don't have to save it again afterwards in some way. So my question is around YouTube. So when you're streaming right now onto YouTube, it's instantly saving it as a new YouTube video.
Yes.
And then can it be edited from there with an intro or outro or anything else? Or it's simply, it saves it and you've got a video, period.
For YouTube, since I'm multi-streaming out to YouTube, yeah, that video would really just exist from the moment that the live stream multi-streaming began to when I end the broadcast. That's the part that would be on YouTube. Could I go back and edit it? I think there is a way in the deep recesses of YouTube, but I probably would not opt to do that. Not for these live streams, no.
But you could grab the YouTube URL for it and you could, post it to somebody and say, here's what we
Yes.
did. Okay. Okay.
Correct.
Thanks.
Yeah. Hi, Susan. Susan Hafner. Hi.
Okay, my question would be, do you also do a hard drive recording as just in case at your own location?
So I don't. Right now I am streaming. So this particular training that I'm doing right now, I am broadcasting this in real time to multiple platforms at the same time, but I'm not recording it. Actually, let me check something. Yeah, I'm not recording it to the cloud and I'm not recording it to my computer. That's how I do this training. That's how I do it with this training. Now, if I'm doing a Zoom meeting, let's say you and I are doing a meeting, I might record it, and I typically don't record it to a hard drive. I record it to the cloud, and then I will share that, but I do pay extra for that to Zoom every month to have more storage capacity. Deb, do you have a question?
I do. You had mentioned the content planner on Canva, and I sort of brain farted on that, for lack of a better word. Can you say a little bit more about that?
Sure. In fact, that might be a great topic for next week. That might be an interesting one, but I will show you. I wonder if I can bring it up here.
While you're bringing it up, I want to say thank you, Cheryl, because this live 30-day challenge has been the best kick in the ass ever.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah, we're doing it. And we plan to do it again in November. So
it's wonderful. Thank you.
Good. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, it's been fun. We pulled it together really, really quickly there at the last day of the month. But no, I'm really happy with, I think we have 18 people who've registered, and I'm watching you guys do your live streams, and it's exciting to see the results that you're getting. Let's just say this one, just trying to bring up an example of something here. Content planner. Oh, there it is. Okay, so let me share this with you. But Deb, this might be something I could even dive into deeper next week. But when I'm logged into Canva, you see it here on the left-hand side. It says Content Planner.
Mm-hmm.
And when I click that, I could, let's say today, for example, I can see that I could click on the plus sign and I could choose a design I've already created. Let's say this little thumbnail with the dog on it. And I could decide to say choose destination. Since we're talking about Facebook today, let's talk about Facebook. And, I could even choose your Facebook page. Let's see. It looks like I have to go back and add permissions and different things. I don't have it set up probably right now, but there it is. I could write something, blah, blah, blah. And then I could say, okay, I'm going to schedule this post. So it's really a very interesting feature. It's taking a while to load here, so it's probably like watching paint dry, but nonetheless, you can see here now, oh, great. This one's scheduled to Facebook at the time that I chose.
So you're creating some sort of image in Canva that pertains to a post you want to make.
Right.
Just like a visual to complement what you intend to say.
Right.
So then you have your visual and you also create your post at the same time, and it saves it and broadcasts it on the day you choose.
Yes. And
Okay.
I will say this, I personally am just at this, like we're having discussions, me and on my team, on like, we got to use this feature. Like we have to start using this feature. And so, so this may be something that I could bring up in a future training because I'm learning about it myself.
Cheryl, did you notice whether you can put it to multiple platforms when you're doing content?
I believe you can. I believe you can once you've set up the permissions and you've given it all the access that it needs.
Yeah.
I'll look into that. I would actually like, if with your permission, I would love to be able to talk about more about this next week because I'm learning about it too. It forces me to kind of get in there
Yeah,
and learn a bit
Yeah,
more.
to have something that can go out to Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, whatever, all at the same
Pretty
time.
awesome.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
All right. So, questions, anything else about Facebook? Anybody interested to ask more questions about Facebook, or you see, or any questions? It doesn't have to be only Facebook related, but if you see something that you might want to ask. Let me just look in the chat here. I'm looking at a menu on my page. Is this where I do stuff to add? So Susan Fisher, can you expand on that? What do you mean? Sorry. Can you elaborate on your question?
Actually, I think I answered my own question.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm, pardon, I'm just,
Okay.
yeah, I just found, I don't know if you can see. It's probably backwards, but
Oh, no, I
there's a whole
see it.
bunch of stuff.
Yeah. So when you're using your app on your phone like that, it will show you some of the things I've mentioned today, right? The group, pages, profile, and things like that. So you can access those things through the app on your phone, in addition to on your desktop.
Hi,
Cool.
Cheryl. I have a
Hi,
question.
Julia.
Hi.
Hi.
One of the features you can use is you can reply to people. There's a little box and people can ask a question. I've always hesitated with that because it sounds like you really have to be, unless you have a, call center, is it a good idea? It's certainly nice for people to have that feature. What's your experience with it?
Are you referring to the Messenger feature?
It's actually on the Facebook page itself. It sometimes when you go to other people's, it'll pop up and it'll say they'll answer within 24 hours. And
Okay.
you know
Yeah.
what
That's the bot. So yeah, the bot is, you can set it up. My experience has been, I've used a ManyChat in the past, created an account, whatever it costs, $15 a month. I worked with someone who helped me set up all these pretty complex, what they call, what are they called? Not menus. There's a name for it. I forgot the name of it now, but these sequences. So like it's, if they say this, then they get that. If they answer this, they get this. And it can be really complex on the back end. What I found was that it got a little too complex. And then I was also at a point where I was really kind of changing up some of the stuff that I was offering. So then some things then started not making sense to people. That they would respond and then they'd get one track and it'd be like, yeah, but we're not doing that anymore. And then it just got confusing. I would say this, I would say it's a very powerful because it gets very high open rates. So much, much higher than email. Having said that, if you're starting out, you want to try to keep it simple. Like you can use the bot feature, keep it simple. Maybe it's like you set it up and it could be like, do you have questions about, the thing? And then they answer yes. They go through this pattern. If they answer no, they go through this pattern. Like keep it simple to start, see how that goes, and then decide to add on to it thereafter. What I did was I was like full bore. I'm making all these really complex things and it kind of came back to bite me on the ass.
I didn't realize, I somehow got the impression that a real person was going to answer you. I didn't realize it was a bot. So thanks for explaining.
Yeah, it's all automated.
Okay.
But
great.
you as the creator of those sequences get to choose what the responses are and in what order and everything else. It is its own field of study for sure, but I would recommend just keep it simple to start with, but it can be a powerful way to engage with people on your page and to send them to something. So if they're interested, I mean, gosh, you don't want to turn people away. If they're interested in something, you definitely want to say, hey, if you're interested in this, come to this page or visit our website or whatever it may be, or book a call with us.
So it sounds like it's an added additional feature that you pay for. Is that correct?
Well, the one I've used is called ManyChat. There's another one called, what's it called? Flow something. That's what they're called, flows. I just remembered now. The sequences are called flows in a bot. The one I use is called ManyChat, and there are people who specialize in setting up bots, and it is like, it's one of those things I would not recommend that you do necessarily on your own.
Okay, thanks. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can set up a real basic one, but beyond that, you start making flows. Yeah, I would recommend that you go to an expert for that. It can get really complicated fast. And the truth is, it's like anything, right? You need to be running your business. I would rather see you spending time and energy making content rather than getting all caught up in how do I make a bot, how to make a flow for a bot. No, that's definitely something that needs to be outsourced.
Right. Thanks.
Mhm. Susan asks, what do you recommend for backgrounds when doing posts? Sounds like a flow chart. Susan Hafner, do you mean like backgrounds images, or do you mean backgrounds of videos?
Backgrounds like, one example, virtual versus non-virtual. And if it's non-virtual, natural versus having like a backdrop or whatever.
That's a good topic for another day, because I'm actually just going to write that down. We may have just uncovered our next 2 weeks of content. So backgrounds, and then content planner and Canva. There's a lot to know about the backgrounds. I think there's a lot of options and a lot of different considerations, more than we can probably get into here. But I would say it depends on, well, I mean, here's the thing. Virtual backgrounds are cool. They look cool. But if you have a good physical background, it looks real. So I would probably opt for that first. But there are certain situations where that's not possible. Well, then the next best thing is to have a virtual. But the virtual should make sense to the brand that you're building. You're welcome, Maura. No problem. Thank you. Okay, so we've talked about a lot of different features on Facebook today. And again, in the interest of our 30 to 40 minutes-ish training, there's a lot. Facebook it's a behemoth. It's the largest search engine, the largest social network in the world. 2.7 billion people use it. Even if you were to take just a portion of what I've mentioned today, maybe you're not leveraging groups enough. Maybe you're not using your page enough. Maybe you're too cemented into your profile because you're getting more engagement over there and you've been neglecting your page. Maybe you should be messaging 4 people a day on your Facebook Messenger and just starting to do those follow-ups and have those conversations with people and start generating some relationship building. Maybe it's time to just kind of familiarize yourself with Creator Studio and understand the lay of the land there and how things have changed and how Facebook's bringing this all under one umbrella. Maybe it's live videos. And to Maura's point earlier, we're doing a live stream training. I will post the link to it in here if you're interested to join, if you're not already a part of it. Susan, I know you're a part of it, and it's been so much fun to watch you guys doing these live streams. I'm just trying to find the link. Here it is.
If I can say something,
Sure.
It's giving me an incredible confidence in doing the live videos. I mean, the first couple of ones, I must have worn a groove in the living room, walking around in circles before I got the courage to stand in front of the video. But I mean, today I just went out with my dog and started to talk.
You just did it. I mean, I'm so proud of you. It's awesome. It's been really fun for me to watch, and we're only a week into October, and I've already been seeing you're doing it. You're doing it. And what's happening is that you're not only thinking, but you're acting like a content creator. And that's really the whole point of it, is to develop that muscle, get into the habit, thinking about content every day. Oh, I got to do my live stream. That in and of itself is a huge step in the right direction toward moving you to where you would do and think about video as being a part of your marketing strategy. And we're only a week in, and I'm already seeing, like, Mary is one of the challengers. On day 2, she was on and she was talking about, I think her book, and someone had mentioned in a comment, "Oh, I'm interested in your book. Can you send me the link? I want to buy it." So she made a sale of her book on day 2. So there's no way you can do 30 days of live streaming and have had no result. And that's what's exciting. And we plan to keep doing it. I think that we've done challenges in the past, but they've not been live stream challenges. That's the difference this time. And I think it's really going to help people to excel and get that confidence and just start. You don't have to have all the answers. I'm not even really expecting you to do long live streams, and I'm not really expecting you to have massive strategy behind it right now. Right now it's just talk. Just get out there and say something. Just talk to people. And it's been really fun to watch. So I left the link if you're watching on Zoom right now. It's in the chat. Feel free to join because we have 3 more weeks left in October. There's still lots of challenge to be had, and you'll still get great results. We'd love to see you in it. Right now we're charging $1 for it.
Where do I find Creator Studio on Facebook?
If you are logged into Facebook on the left-hand side, if you scroll down, you should see a place that says Publishing Tools. And if you click that, it should open up a page that says we've moved everything to Creator Studio.
Okay.
Yeah. So just hunt around there and you'll find it. Thank you for being here. It's fun to come in and chat about Facebook, and we have our topics now for the next 2 weeks. I don't know in which. I think in the order which we'll do it is Content Planner on Canva next week, and then after that, why don't we do backgrounds? Why don't we talk about backgrounds next week? Sound good? Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. If you know someone who should be a part of these free trainings every week, if you know someone in your life or business who would benefit by being part of my community, who could benefit from the videos I do and the trainings that I do, please send them my way or let them know about me, because that will help me get my message out to more people, and I appreciate that. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you next week. Bye, everybody.